Hey everybody, it's your girl Ashley J coming to you again for another episode of According to Ashley. I've kind of been off for a couple weeks or whatever, so here I am back again coming for another episode. This particular topic is something that came up about a few days ago when a friend of mine and I were talking about an issue that I was going through with this guy that I'm talking to. And the topic basically circulated around the notion of letting the man be the man, giving the guy his respect that he deserves just because he's the man. Now, that may be easy for some people. For me, I have a very strong personality. I have a very out there personality too. And the thing that I'm working on with myself is just not saying everything that needs to be said. Sometimes just not saying it at all, but sometimes I just feel like saying it and it comes out that way. But I digress. So, we had this discussion, and it turned out to be more about a cultural aspect of dating in the culture of Black women. Let me give a little background information first. For me, the majority of my dating life has been me talking with men that are not of my own race, and that to me has its own social challenges, but there was also a challenge that I had to encounter, which again came about with this current guy that I'm talking to. He and I come from very two different worlds. We come from two different countries. We grew up two different ways. We live two different lives. They say opposites attract, and we are beyond opposites, but we still attract very well together. The part that comes into play is me backing off and letting, again, the man be the man. What exactly does that mean? Now, there's this whole notion that the man is supposed to be the provider. He's the one that's supposed to be the breadwinner, be the supporter of the family and in the relationship, things like that. I personally feel that that is also what a real man is supposed to do anyway, simply because the only example of what a real man is that I have in my life at this point is my father. My father is the epitome of what a real man is. He takes care of the family. He takes care of my mother. He does what he has to do to provide for the ones that he loves. And my father has always been that way since he was younger. And I appreciate that because not every woman in this world can say that she has a father, let alone a father that has done the things that my father has done. So I grew up with the definition of what a real man is. Now, when it came to me dating, it started to become a little bit different because I realized that society does not always dictate what a real man is. In fact, the definition of a real man has depleted socially because you don't see too many young men, especially in my generation, that fit that example of what a real man is. Now, everyone has their own definition of what a real man is. That's my definition. Everyone else might have something different, but that is my personal definition of what a real man is. Being that that is my definition, I do have expectations of what I feel that a man is supposed to be for me in a relationship. And that is, again, the provider, my support system, my partner in crime, my Clyde to me being Bonnie, etc., etc. But then I realized that there is an internal challenge that I have, and this isn't just something with myself, but it seems to be a cultural thing with just Black women when it comes to us dating, especially when it comes to us dating men that are outside of our race. Now that you have that background, let me go forward with the topic. Basically, as Black women, when we're young, we're taught to have things laid out ourselves, to do things ourselves, to provide for ourselves, to take independence of life and run with it. We should not have to rely on a man. We never should depend on a man for anything. We should always be able to do things ourselves. Those are the lessons of being a woman that are ingrained into us as Black women. Whether they're ingrained into other race of women, I can't speak on because I can only speak for what I was raised on. But those are the principles that are put into a Black woman's mindset from a very young age. So keeping that in mind and growing up, we still have that mindset that we have to be able to stand on our own. We have to be able to provide for ourselves. We have to be able to depend on no one in this world but ourselves. Culturally, as Black women, we're taught that the world is against us, that we have to work 30,000 times as hard as everyone else because we already have two strikes against us. We're women and we're Black. The third strike most times is the educated Black woman. So that's already three strikes. Me personally, that I have the three strikes. I am educated, I'm a Black woman, and I'm a woman. So three strikes. I already have those against me, and there could be more. So being that the world, society puts us into those categories and puts things against us, we're taught that we have to look past that and continue to work hard and make sure that if anything happens, you have something yourself to fall back on. Being that that is a lesson that is taught, the internal struggle that I've had with dating men that are outside of my race is getting them to understand that when I come at you, or when we come at you with a fire and a fierceness and a level of independence, it's not that we don't want you to be the man. It's not that we're trying to take your pride and your respect as a man away from you, because at the end of the day, as a man, if you don't have your respect and you don't have your manhood, you pretty much feel like you have nothing. So the challenge that I had to kind of look into is that I had to tell myself that it's okay to let a man be a man. And it doesn't matter what race he is. It does not matter what socioeconomic background he came from. I personally had to learn that it's okay to let a man open the door for you. It's okay to let a man treat you to dinner. It's okay for a man to treat you to a trip. It's okay to let a man help you if you need it. And I'm working now to try and make it so that I can do that. But in my defense, you can't change someone's mindset overnight. And that is where the discussion came from with my friend and I, and the challenge that I was facing with letting a man that is very different from me and allow him to still be a man. I got emotional about it because it really started to make me look at the situation and understand that it's okay for me to step back and not do everything, because for me, I do it all myself. I educate myself because I want to. I buy things for myself because that's what I'm supposed to do, is to depend on myself. I cook, clean, provide for myself, pay my own bills. I am an independent woman and I'm proud of it. But I never found out or saw until now that it really does affect a relationship. It really can. And it's a challenge, but it is still something that I feel that as women and as Black women that we need to work on. I get emotional about it because it's like sometimes we can be so misunderstood because of what we were taught growing up and what we were trained to believe as we were growing up. Now, does that necessarily mean that I'm saying that we can't continue to be independent as women as a whole, as women? No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that there comes a time where we have to, as a society and as a group of women, realize that we don't always have to do it all ourselves. The point of a relationship is to work together as a team. You run the race with your partner, not looking back and saying, oh my God, what are you doing? And, defeating them and downing them. That's not what happens. In a race, in order for the couple in a race to win, you both have to start together and you both have to finish together. You may reach challenges in the middle that a lot of times can be cultural challenges. It could be religious challenges. It could be socioeconomic challenges. But nonetheless, you got to finish that race together if you want to. And that is something that I feel I have learned in this whole process. That's a lesson that I'm working on myself. And that is something that I'm hoping that I will be able to take and run with it and make things better for my own relationships, and to just understand myself a little more. That discussion and this topic is really more of just an avenue of me understanding myself individually, understanding myself culture-wise, and understanding myself in terms of being in a relationship with another person. Um, that's pretty much it. It's something that was very touching to me and got me very emotional because I did not realize how my mindset and what I was trained to believe could affect my actions towards another man. I never realized that being trained and taught that way could affect my actions against the man that I really care about. And I just hope that it's a lesson that other women can take into consideration and understand that it is more than okay for us to put our independence aside at some point and allow a man to be a man. And that comes with a matter of practice, a matter of openness, a matter of respect and understanding. And yeah, that's just basically what I wanted to talk about. I thought it was a very, very interesting subject that me and my good friend talked about. And I think that that is something that a lot of women in my culture need to kind of look within themselves and ask ourselves, why is it that we won't allow a man to just do what he's supposed to do? We want that, so we should allow them to do that. And whether that means helping you out, whether that means, taking the reins and running with it, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you any less of a woman. It doesn't make you any less of an independent woman. But what it does is show that you have the ability to not only stand on your own, but have the ability to be a support for a very special person and also allow them to be a support for you as well. Because at the end of the day, in a relationship, it's all about teamwork. And I have learned that now more than ever. And I feel that that is something that's not only special, it's important. And for all of you out there that are running the race with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with whoever, run that race together and learn that you got to finish the race together if you want to, and it can be done. So that's just my discussion that I want to have, and I will see you all pretty soon. Again, this is According to Ashleigh, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.